Well, hello again, friends. I say again, it's been a very long time. Apologies for the delay. Of course, I have not flown X-Plane for a while, so there was a little bit of faffing about to get back and ready where we are. Welcome, if you are watching. Thanks very much for joining me. I know it's been a long time, and I hope you've enjoyed the real-world videos that I've been putting up. I've just been pretty busy, and this is almost sort of the first weekend where I've had a bit of time to get back into the sim. So, without further ado, as we are already 10 minutes late, let's head over. Frame rate's still not tip top, so I might have to turn off smooth updates just to give you an idea of what we got. 30, but it seems a little bit laggy. I've turned down world objects, but the GPU still seems to be struggling along. And until those new cards start dropping substantially, I'm still itching, but those prices need to plummet before I bite the bullet. There's a lot of old stock, and oh, hello. I think we're all right.
Welcome to Hot Start Flight Support. How can we help you today?
So, when are we looking to go? On the hour. It doesn't really matter though, because it's just crew. It'll say we've got one passenger, but that's on the flight plan, so there's no packs, so we should be good to go. We will need some fuel. Small airport here, so let me just have a read of the briefing. I don't even know if there is much of a briefing on these charts for Allison. No, I mean, I would assume that they would have some ground power, but why don't we just imagine that it's a diesel generator, they're going to have some ground power. Let's get that. We don't need any of that. No tow, we should be able to self-maneuver.
Of course, Captain. I'll get that organized for you right away.
Wonderful. Let's head out to the jet. So as you can see, a little bit laggy. GPU limited more than anything at the moment. So here we are, picking up where we left off. Just going to set Volanta up. That's got everything there, so minimize that. And here she is, parked up where we left her. At a relatively quiet Allison. I don't think there's any traffic here on VATSIM, but I'm going to log on anyway. Oh, that's a good question. I wonder if I've actually done the flight plan. We just pause the screen for a moment. Oh no, I didn't need to do that. It came up quite happily. Okay, there is some traffic here, which is good. And I'm just going to get back onto SimBrief. Oh no, I did file the flight plan. That's fine. Excellent. Oh, hello. So there was somebody here. They've now disappeared. Okay. So what have we got? Frame rate outside 30-ish. GPU is not working particularly hard. It's just a bit laggy. Anyway, I'm looking forward to X-Plane 12. See if that makes much of a difference. So a quick look at the aeroplane. She looks serviceable, sensible. Cross that double line there, but there's no obstruction. And could we move out of here? Self-maneuver, yes. Immediate right turn because we've got this, correction, left turn because we've got that there. And the chocks appear to be out, so let's pop some of those in. This has happened before, hasn't it? I don't really want to chock the nose wheel like with it at an angle. once the nose wheel steering comes alive, that will probably kick it round and forward, so we don't want to do that, so we'll just leave those two in. There we go. I did remember how to open the door. And as always, if you are watching, please say hi. Let's jump in, open up the blinds. So the plan today is this sector with a little trip to HOTAS, which was always the original plan before I got sidetracked by real life. Because that's quite a fun little airport. And when I was there, there was, I think, an A220 doing circuits, which was quite cool. And then later on this afternoon, I'm not quite sure what time yet, but Birmingham is going to be staffed up until 8 o'clock local UK time. So if I have an early dinner, we'll get in after that, or I'll go before, and we'll do a trip with simulated PAX load into Birmingham, and then maybe do some tomorrow as well. So noticing that outside looks a bit odd with the chocks and everything, thankfully the airplane hasn't rolled away. Paying attention to the circuit breakers. There are a lot of circuit breakers. They all look good. Let's jump into the seat. There's a familiar view, one that I haven't seen for, it's getting on for nigh on a month now. So, where to start? There's a good question. Don, good morning. Sorry, I have an iPad mini tucked at the side of my desk, and your message was just being hidden by my keyboard. Thanks very much for joining, and good morning. It still is morning. So, power up check. Flight pubs, we don't have circuit breakers. I've checked. Emergency equipment, we would be checking for raft, axe, fire extinguishers, etc. Checking they're in date, in the green, that sort of thing. Hydraulic pumps, still a bit laggy. That's another reason that I've been a bit frustrated with the sim, is just the inefficiency of it. Like I say, bring on X-Plane 12, even if the beta is buggy, it would be interesting to see the performance, because you'd like to think once it's released it can only get better. So that'll be good. Hydraulic pumps all off. Nose steer, I have that mapped and it's in the correct position. Landing gear lever, I have that mapped and it's also down on my hardware. Flight spoiler, I have that mapped, you see it there, and it is set retracted. Flaps looked up outside and they look up here. And I'm doing this not from the hot start checklist, but from a QRH that you can get hold of online if you really, really try, I think, or it might have been on the Discord. So, ADG manual release is in and stowed. Interestingly, on this checklist, I don't do the lamp test, but I'm going to do it there, and the landing gear lever is stowed as well. So, with that in mind, we can look up here and pop the battery master on. Ding, ding, ding. Excellent. And I'm getting all the cautions I would expect. DC electrics.
Nose door.
Thanks.
Nose door.
Good, we know about that. 22 volts minimum, we've got 25 on both. Not sure if you guys can see that. I also have it blocked, there you go. Blocked by a little bit of hardware in front of the screen, just to sort of replicate the instrument panel. So with that in mind, interestingly, of course, so the FireX monitors are done first flight of the day, and they're done before the rest of the power comes on, which makes sense if you're going to be using the APU, but we're not. But I will do. There's the Fire-X monitor. Engine bottles, 1, 2, 3, 4, green. That's the left and right 1 and 2s. And the APU checked. Obviously, you want to check that those are serviceable before you start firing up the APU. And the same with the detection test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 warning.
Overheat. Jet pipe.
3 red, 3 green. And just check the fail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cautions. So with that in mind, we can, somebody, oh no, it's the fuel truck. I thought it was somebody else parking up here. I'm going to pop the nav lights on, then take AC power. And what have we got? 115, 400 hertz, green, 1, 2 is central bus on, looks sensible, and the DCs are charging. There you go, cleared those, and you can see that there. So we'll just let the fuel total work itself up. Excuse me while I just get my calculator.
All right, Captain. Fuel truck is hooked up. Just let me know how much fuel you need. Or would you like to go tanks full today?
Well, we're not going to go tanks full. It's 0.811. Not sure how much of that message you can see, because of course, if you haven't watched this stream before, I have a 21:9 monitor and I shrink it because the detail was pretty poor on YouTube. So you get 16:9 with everything cut off. I can see a little bit further around to the left and right, which is the lovely benefit of 21:9. So our block fuel 1677, which is our trip, 583 kilos, 5-minute contingencies of 86. Our alternate 287 and a final reserve of just under 400, which is 30 minutes. Gives us a minimum takeoff of 1.35 tons. We've got a 15-minute addition, 221. Just in case we want to do visual circuit. We're not expecting any delays, although we are online, so it's always worth taking a little bit of extra fuel online because it can get a bit chaotic. And we've got 100 kilos for taxi, so that's our 1677. Take away what we think is 1010 on board, gives us 667 divided by 0.811 for the density gives us 822 litres. We'll round that up, so 840.
All right, I'm gonna go start up the pump.
So before we do anything else, let's head over here to the fuel panel. 1010, we can do a lamp test. Everything works. Okay, they all open. They all shut off. We can shut the centers. And there we go. We are in kilos. And we're fueling a little bit in the aux. Never mind. Not sure what happened there. Oh, that's because I was zoomed in, wasn't it? Right, so we're fueling, which is good. And if anyone else is watching, it says if there's a few people watching, please say hi. Like I say, I'm probably not going to bring much up. The frame rate is, it's not great. It is GPU limited at about, well, it's sort of dropping between 20 something and 30. It's just all over the place. So charts and things on screen, I don't do just because bit of a nightmare. Makes it a bit more unstable. So let's run through the checks.
Flight compartment checklist. AC and DC electrics.
Okay, AC, DC have been checked. Batteries are charging, TRUs are serviceable. We're on external power.
Engine start checklist. Doors.
No.
Flight compartment checklist. AC and DC electrics. Nav lights, logo light.
So logo is not required, it's daytime, nav lights are on.
Cockpit lights.
Are set,
Lamp test.
which you'll recall is down here. Can't quite do all of it because there you go, they all work. I can't flick between the two.
Fueling is complete, Captain. Do you need anything else?
Is the fueling really complete? Let's just wait for a little bit of that fuel inertia there to make sure we've got at least 1680. Can ask him to put a few more litres in. 70, 80, that'll do.
Okay, just one quick signature on here, and I'll be on my way.
Is this live, or does Toto just sort of take a rough figure? Because I bet it is, it's $2 a litre. It's going to be way more than that. It's going to be double that.
Here's a copy for your records. Have a nice day.
Thanks, especially in Norway where fuel is not cheap. Ironically. Lab test, like I said, can't quite do the full check, but we've tried.
Duct monitor.
So what are we checking? We're checking the bleed air ducts so that you know if they've got a leak. They run quite close to fuel lines. If they leak, you don't want to start a fire. So that's up here.
Bleed air.
4 switch lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Warning.
Bleed air duct.
And the test OK. Yes, it just popped over to the other page. So I mean, you can box the CAS to get the main messages pop up if it's quite busy. Loop A and loop B, and back to normal. So what I've done there is just box the CAS, that one, just to hide all those existing cautions, and then you'll see the new ones. But it's quite important to make sure you then turn that off so that you can see everything.
Fms Database Status.
So, index. Status. So, what's the date today? The 6th. Still in AirAx 7. I should have cleared everything out. UTC 1029 looks about right.
FMS flight plan uplink. ATIS.
So, flight plan. You can see my brain is struggling. Route menu, there it is. Flight plan wincall, flight plan recall, and we are looking at Allison to Hotel Delta. And over on this side, why don't we get the weather? Because I don't think we'll get any ATIS. There you go, not available. Worth a try. But we can get the terminal weather, so this is worth putting in anyway. Destination Hotel Delta, and then our alternate is Bravo Romeo. So, whilst we've been mucking about doing that, download flight plan, loaded, sec flight plan. Let's have a look and make sure these legs are all correct. So, where are we going? TUTOP. Let's see if 105, Foxtrot Lima 0 direct. UPDER. Easy. Back to page 1. Activate. Execute. And that's in. Just while I'm waiting for the weather, I might as well pop this one in. Nobody about. Showers in the vicinity. Few at 800, 28011. Runway 24 here, 40 degrees off is about 2/3. So 2/3 crosswind is going to be about a 4 knot headwind. Broken 2500. 12, relatively cool. 2.9, as you can see by that cloud height, and 1017. Set. I'll set that here as well. The airport elevation 70 feet, which is about right, isn't it?
Anti-skid.
Let's check that. So it's armed test, green light, or green message.
Nose door.
So it's already open, and this is why it's important to make sure that it is clear. So if there's any ground crew, tell them to get out of the way.
Hydraulic 3A pump.
So we'll set that on there. Put the 3A pump on. And what we're looking for is sensible temperature, sensible quantity, and then we're looking for 3000 psi, especially on the brakes.
Brake pressure.
There it is, 3000 psi, give or take.
Parking brake.
Set on with, there you go, that little message there. Why don't I save that as a view? Save that as 4.
Nose door.
So that's to check that it's closed. So let's go outside. Clear everything off. So we've got one set of chocks in. We can click on the wing. A message comes up saying it feels clear of ice, which is good. We can of course start taking all of these off. There are more pins in here now. So that is the nose. What is the word I'm looking for? So one is for the ADG, one is the pin for the nose door hydraulics. We'll take the gear pin out. And what I'm not going to do is take that pin out until I've had a look and made sure that the switch is up, because I don't want to get squashed. So it's down. You see up there it doesn't work, so it is down. Make sure we're not going to get decapitated, because those hydraulics are strong. And it is clear, and we will shut the door. Those hydraulics would just squash you. Everything's out this side. There does not appear to be a gear pin in here. There is not. APU's not on, so we don't have to worry about that. That's where the exhaust would be. Battery compartment, luggage around here. There we go. Good, so the gear will retract, otherwise we'd find that up find that out during climb out. And whilst that's not the end of the world, there'll be a speed limit, and it would also mean a fuel penalty for doing it with the gear down, which we probably wouldn't have enough of. So, the check there, you can see nose door is closed.
Hydraulic panel and pumps.
So, we're going to check those, and to do that, we check the quantities and temperatures. 3A goes off, 3B comes on, so do the others. They all pressurize, you can see them pressurizing there. And what we're then going to do is check that there's no low quantity, there is not. And then we're going to put them all to auto. We're going to flick them all down. So two low pressure and one low pressure, which is to be expected.
Electric panel.
So Gen 1, Gen 2, and in this case the APU as well, they're all off.
AC DC utility switch.
Everything's stabilized, so all the utilities can come on. We can check AC util bus 1 and 2 and DC util 1 and 2.
Start ignition panel.
All out, off.
Fuel panel.
So 1, 2, 3. Lights on, 2 whites. Pop that one on, that one goes off. Pop that one in, pop that one out, they stay on. Pop that one out, that one comes on. Pop that one out, it goes off. That one out, goes off. That one out. There we go. Off. Cautions. Easy.
APU LCV.
So the LCV and the 10th stage are both going to be out because the APU is off.
10th stage isolation valve. Packs.
They are currently off.
Air conditioning panel.
Normal. RAM air is out, extinguished, guarded. Temperatures as required, set to cabin.
Pressurization panel.
So differential pressure is 0. Altitude is based on sea level, which is what we've got. So man out is centered, rate is all the way around. Manual comes on with the appropriate enunciation on the ECAS out. Full light comes on and extinguishes. Emergency depress out, extinguished, guarded. Our destination is about 90 feet, so that's not going to change. And let's have a look. What do we think the estimated pressure is at Carmoy? 1021. 1021. I have to look up. Thumbing through my trusty flight information handbook. Conversion tables, there we go. 1021 is 3015. About there. That'll do. Selector, pip is aligned, and that's it.
Bleed air panel.
So once we start the APU, that'll be in, and they'll all be white. Those will be all out and off.
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice panel switch.
Let us have a look. So, subground, let's just get rid of that caution, is down here, out and extinguished.
Cal anti-ice switches.
So, what are we looking at? Left and right switch lights in. check no caution. Checked. Pop them out.
Anti-ice panel.
So up here, wing switch is off. Left and right heats are extinguished. These left and right cowl are out. All the way down to test, push and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, window heat green. Off reset. And the cautions come on. Box that again. Ice test. Ice caution. Wing test. Wing overheat. Left, right, and green
Wing
test okay.
Overheat. Wing overheat.
Emergency lights.
They are currently off. On mod, we get an info. We go and check them. Back down to arm. No caution.
Passenger signs.
We have no packs today. No smoking is on. I'm going to leave the seatbelts off until we're ready to start.
ELT.
Is armed.
Glare shield panel.
Serviceable to me.
Crew and passenger oxygen.
So we've got 1870. I'm not going to check the oxygen.
DCU warning panel.
Is over here. Out extinguished guarded.
CVR.
Test 5 seconds green light.
Audio panels.
Let's double check over here, shall we? Com 1, mic 1, nothing else. Happy.
SPS system.
SPS, the check that I don't enjoy. So left check. Stall protection on both sides. So stab trim 1, 2 in. Set the trim all the way to nose down, and we get the trim caution. Stab trim disconnect. That is the right button on my hardware, good. And stall fail. Do we have a stall fail? No, not yet. So flight controls is that one. We are going to do the SPS test left and right. Get the stall caution, full forward, ignition A and B on, continue, stall lights, AP disconnect, that stops it, it reactivates, full nose down, I can't do the G switch, let go. It all cleared.
Integrated standby instrument.
That looks serviceable to me.
Clock.
Yep, flight times reset, UTC is correct.
EFS, ICAS.
Checked.
Main landing gear bay overheat.
That is of course down here.
Viewer bay
Oral
overheat.
and
Viewer bay
Warning.
overheat.
do the test as well, check the fail caution.
TOS warning switches.
They are down here, you see those? Out extinguished guarded. Do the test. There is the check.
Slow. Pull up. Wind shear, wind shear, wind shear. Terrain, terrain. Pull up. Sink rate. Pull up. Terrain. Don't sink. Don't sink. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Flaps. Too low. Terrain. Glide slope. Bank angle. Bank angle.
Approaching minimums. Minimums. 2,500. 1,000. 500. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Caution, wind shear. Too low, terrain.
That sounds like it's
Caution, terrain.
doing it more than once.
Caution, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Pull up. Caution, obstacle. Caution, obstacle. Obstacle, obstacle. Pull up.
I'm happy that that worked, but not quite sure why it went on for so long. So, out tested.
Pitch and roll disconnects.
There you go, look, they are stowed.
Ground spoilers.
Auto.
Thrust reversers.
So, checked, stowed, armed. 2 green.
Thrust levers.
1 full, 3 correct, shut off. 2 full, 3 correct, shut off. Did I do both of those? Yes.
Engine speed switches.
Are here and they're both on.
Engine vibration check.
On, vibration increases, goes amber at 3, caution, stops at 3.5, release, go, back to 0 checked.
Oral warning.
Just checking the speaker more than anything.
Smoke detector.
Is here. Ding ding ding, we should get smoke. 2 warnings.
Smoke. Smoke.
We do.
Trims. Mock trim.
So, 1, Mac trim in, get stab 2 in op, push the button. Check the trim doesn't work, which it doesn't. 2, 1, and you're meant to check it with each side. Stab 1 in op. Again, trim doesn't work. 1, 2, in, no stab trim, caution. No status lights. Push the Mac trim. Caution goes away. Set for takeoff, which we can't really work out. We're going to be quite light, so I'm going to go for about 6. Aileron and rudder I don't want to play with because I'll struggle to set them back to neutral, but you can see there are the indicators.
Yaw dampers.
So your damper is caution, either one of those on.
Reversionary inhibit switches.
You can see them down here. I'll set normal. MFDs are out extinguished.
IRS.
We can check on this one, can't we? So no, actually we can't. Index. No, we can't check on that one. So if we go data, nav status, IRS, there we go. You can see they're all 3 in nav, all agreeing with a pretty sensible location. See, there is a little bit of drift.
CPDLC.
I haven't played with CPDLC. Hello, Glenn. It is a long time. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the real world videos at least. So CPDLC, just having a look to see who is online. It's not even that widely used. VATSIM, of course, they like to talk. There is nothing covering Norway at the moment. We are online, 122.8, that's all fine. So there's not going to be anyone to talk to, which is fine. And I'm just trying to figure out where we are. There we are, we are the only one here. So, no CPDLC to do. What's the other bit of the check? Nothing.
TCAS.
So, index, no tune. Set 2000. No, I didn't want to do that. I'll leave that on standby. I hit that one. We'll be climbing, so I want above. And you can see there's our test button. Video games, hello.
Test okay.
So, TCAS checked.
ATIS and clearance.
So, we're not going to get a clearance because there is no one to clear us. But what we can do is, when was that weather? 10:20. What are we looking at? Coming up to 11 now. So if they are doing one every 30 minutes, there should be another one. So I am going to send that request again. So Amsterdam's on, Sweden, and somewhere in Finland, I think. And there we go, look, what a genius, I was correct. So 10:50 Zulu, 290 at 9. Check the windsock as well, greater than 10k visibility. VCSH showers in the vicinity. And a shower, remember, is from is rain from a cumuloform cloud. So that broken is probably going to be broken cumulus, unless we're getting rain from the few at 8. Not sure. Probably much more likely to be coming from the thicker layer, slightly higher up. Little bubbly clouds at 800 feet are probably not going to rain on you. So broken at 2,500. The temperature is 11. The dew point is 9, and the QNH is 1017, which I got checked and set. Light rain is the forecast. Tempo 4,000 meters in rain and drizzle, which would be legal even for VFR, so not a problem. Actually, would it? I don't know the class of airspace here. Would be in class G. Maybe not in this. What do we need? 5 or 8k above 140 knots in the UK. So, weather's checked. Clearance nil ATC.
FMS flight plan, wind update, perf.
So flight plan is in and checked. So we're quite light, and it's a short sector, but it's a surprisingly high climb, 380. We'll just rocket straight up to that. No, maybe no derate. Our alternate is 160. Let's delete that out. Sensed fuel looks sensible. 1690. Scribbled on the flight plan. Unable cruise out. That's certainly because we haven't put the SIDS and the arrival in. So we'll do that and see how we get on. Our zero fuel weight is what I'm going to put in, not the pax weight. And we've got 12645. So target speed, yes, 250 below 10. 307.8 seems a reasonable climb. The transition altitude here from our chart is 7,000. Our cruise is 82, 380, and then the arrival. The transition level will be set by ATC, and don't think I have my cheat sheet to hand. How very unprofessional. No, I do. It's with the rest of my flight sim stuff. It's going to be 80 or 014 or above. And that'll just give us our warning for switching to QNH. So, I am happy with that. Let's actually put in what we think we're going to get. So 290, it is going to be 24. That's mostly across. And of course that gives us, we have TUTOP 1 Foxtrot. That's an RNAV departure. It's almost straight ahead to AIRBORNE, turn left. 1 Foxtrot, let's pop that in. No transition. Execute. And then arrival wise, I'm going to pop the arrival in. The forecast weather for the arrival is biased towards runway 30, so 31 is bang on the money. We'll pick the specific approach when we get a bit closer. I think it's going to be, oh no, there's only two. It's going to be the RMP for runway 31. And we're going to have up to 1 Victor, so there we go. ILS-13, no. Would not be suitable for any of those. Takes us to the clearance limit, which is to the southeast of the airport. So, it says RNAV 31. Interesting, there should be a VOR. But I'm not being stupid, am I? Oh, that means VOR DME, doesn't it? Good, so 2 approaches we've got. We're going to pick the RNAV. The arrival is going to take us to BAMAP, so we might as well follow that round. And as predicted, the unable cruise message has gone, but we're probably going to go straight from climb into descent. Excuse me there, I just had a fantastic sneeze. So, let's have a look at our departure. Outbolt, yes, Tickbow, TUTOP, Oldas. The initial climb for this departure is 6,000. So I'm going to set 6.1 just in case anyone does come online. The way seems to be a little bit lacking in controllers, so it tells us we can at 28 miles from TUTOP. Now, is that from inbound or after climb at Tickboat? Climb to cruise. So, what I think we should really put in here is that the initial climb is to 6. I'm going to self climb just to meet this profile. As you can see, that's 8 miles, and the aircraft thinks we're going to be there. If I pop in 6,000, so we don't end up with what's the word I'm looking for? Unable cruise. Good. So I am going to put that in because that's our initial climb. I'm not going to wait till Tickbow. That's another 20 miles. Climb to cruise stated in the flight plan. Expect further climb from ATC. It's a very strange instruction. And at that point, no, we'll be alright. We'll sort it out. I won't force that restriction in there. Good, so that's checked. And because it's such a short flight, why don't we check these? There's no restriction on under, and the minimum outs 4,000 all the way round. The MSA is 4,200. Why is that important? Somebody on the Zebo groups on Facebook ended up flying their entire route. I don't know how they had enough fuel, but at 2,100. Certainly in Norway, doing that, you'd end up flying into something. So it's important to know what your MSAs are and the MEAs, minimum en route altitudes. I think they're still called MEAs on the star, but that's the lowest descent that you can get to. And as you can see there, BAMAP is at or above 4. Then onto the RMP, there is a discontinuity there, at or above 4. These should match, so close that discontinuity. Let's have a look. BAMAP, yes, 3 degrees. That's for the descent. That's above 3. As we go round, ARGID above 2.5, and then 3 to the runway. The minimums, LPV Cat 1, we should be able to do that today. Because LPV is withdrawn in the UK but not anywhere else, or LNAV, VNAV, the aeroplane will pick the LPV. I am sure of it. And that's all checked and set. So, happy with all those legs. Left turn direct and hold. Excellent. So, that's the route. Perf-wise, the ATIS was giving us 11 degrees. The aircraft is giving us 12. I'll go with the 12 just because that's more limiting. It's giving us our speeds. Full thrust, I don't think we are going to need. We are very light. So, we'll do a flex, especially as we've put in a restriction there. What are we going to flex to? Can we do 50? I think we can do 60, that's out of bounds. Pretty sure 50 is the max, yeah. Okay, so done. Winds we haven't done. Reserves, let's have a look. 400. I'd like to get a warning before that. And our estimated departure is 5. 50 minutes, 800. We should have loads. Taxi is 100. May or may not be correct. Yes. VNAV setup, we've already done. So, winds. Let's, as we put all the information for the route in now, let's get our wind update. That shouldn't take very long. There does seem to be a little bit less of a flow compared to the 7.3, which makes a lot of sense once you get your head around it. 243 is the runway heading, so that's speed. Heading, there we go. There you go, give you a better view outside. So flight plan, wind update, perf. Once that wind comes through, we are then done. And it's takeoff data time. And we're already a bit late. I didn't hear the notification. Okay.
Takeoff data.
Let's go back to that. So, takeoff, runway 24, yes. I am going to put in the wind. Runway length 2316. So, from intersection Alpha 1826. On 017, pressure out. Yeah, pretty much dry. APR armed. Next. And you can see there that even with the pretty spectacular D rate, which has increased our speeds, 998, we have got ample for departure. Engine bleeds are going to be off. Takeoff weight, obstacle wise, let's have a look at the departure. The MSA is 6.4, but we're actually going out to sea, so as long as we maintain 243, it is 5.5 out in that direction due to terrain. But it's the sea, so as long as if we head due west, there are no obstacles to worry about. Minimum climb gradient 6.6%, and you can see we've got 12.7, so ample performance even with that spectacular D rate. So let's send those through. .7. I just want to make sure that that is still in flex. Ah, no, incorrect. Look, I have to select the flex. So that's deleted our V speeds. Let's go check in. I told you that I would miss something because I am a bit rusty with the aeroplane. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's recheck that. From Alpha on 2.4, we have 1826. We can actually go from Bravo, which is 1428. So let me just scroll that down. Alpha and Bravo are available. Even with our D rate. Let's increase our V1, rotate stayed the same. There we go, worth checking. It is trial and error because of course we don't have any FB yet. So, takeoff data's done.
Avionics and charts.
Checked.
Flight instruments.
So, you probably can't see these. Push toga on the side of the thrust lever. N1 flex is exactly what we want. Gauge nav, it is an RNAV departure, so ARM LNAV. Logical check of the instruments. So starting here, we are slightly nose down. We're not quite winged level, but not far off. Heading of 165, roughly about south, is sensible. I think what I want to do is rows on there, PPOS on the other. Menu, what I really want to do is increase the range a bit. 10 miles should do us. So we've got rows set. Frequency wise, it's an on-nav departure, so there is nothing required. We could have the ILS 11195. So 11195 I'm going to have set standby 1. 1158 is the VOR. Checked. I believe it's set to FMS. So we've got that if we need it. Over on the left, so VOR set FMS guidance, and let's pop nav back on. So at ball 8.4, yes, 8 miles checked. V speed's checked, 200 is the initial bugged speed. We'll clean up, stabilize, and then continue on our way. Take off both sides, LNAV, out select, armed 6-1 set. We will self-clear when we get to the runway. Vertical speed is 0, pressure set, and the initial climb is set as well. On the right hand side, 85 flex is set, and that's it.
Departure briefing.
We have discussed RNAV, it's straight ahead initial climb 243, direct Atbol, and a left turn 197 to Tikbo, and then 198 to TUTOP, all RNAV, so no nav aids required.
Emergency procedures.
We're not going to go through. If we do need to, it will just be a 270 turn out over the sea.
Pins, covers, chocks.
They are all removed, the chocks are still in. Why don't we get those out? And then I'll go shut the door. What we do need to do is shut those valves. Chocks removed. There's the door shut. Much better than just pressing Control E. Do you remember that from the Flight Sim FSX days? Is it still the same on Flight Sim now? So, pins, covers, chocks done.
Cabin lights, water heaters, master seat.
Happy.
Flight compartment checklist complete. AC and DC electrics.
So, let's get the APU started. Like I said, we are already late. And the time now is 14. So, what do we need to do? Power fuel on. In. Start. And then we'll give it 3 minutes. Could have done this a little bit before while we were waiting for something else, but like I say, rusty. APU gen off, we expect. We'll just let that warm up. So, 2 minutes. I certainly think we can go at least on power. So, oh, whoops. Oh, that's messed everything up, hasn't it? Whoops. What have we lost? V-speeds? Anything else? No. Send those back through then. Oops. Told you. Told you I'd make mistakes. Okay, let's flex checked. And okay, take off. So the yaw damper, no, they're going to go because the yaw damper is off, isn't it? So, check the trims. Off no cautions, you really should start the check again. Pumps, window heats, hydraulics, probe heats, all expected, everything else is fine. They have deleted again. Why? What are we missing? Perf's fine. Nothing's missing there. Nothing's missing there. Good. That seemed to work. Don't do that again. So we can disconnect ground power. We'll definitely have had 3 minutes by now, so LCV. Isolation valve open. Packs. M1 flex. Good to go. How embarrassing. Should give myself a lot more time to set up. So.
Flight compartment checklist.
Nope.
Engine start checklist. Doors.
Checked.
Closed. Parking brake and pressure. Checked and set. Fuel quantity and balance.
40 kilos, which is within limits.
Beacon.
So, first things first, we would need to call up the start. There is one other person here. Of course, they've not been doing any talking, so how on earth would we know they were there? So, tune 2000 set. I don't want that. We'll have out on. Let's pop the belts on.
Allison traffic, Viking 26 Hotel, backtrack and line up runway 24, Allison traffic.
Why did I just get a beep? What's on the data link? Ah, is that automatic updates on the weather? Let's just double check. Oh. ATIS, does that mean? No, it doesn't. So let me turn that off. And what we could actually do is pop in ENHD. We're not going to expect to get anything there. So, yeah, there we go, that's fine. So that's not going to annoy us again. Fuel pumps.
On. Ignition.
Go for A.
Armed. Engine 2 start.
Oh, what am I doing? Wrong engine. So, nothing to announce. It is 2-2. Like I say, you'd call up ATC for start, so start engine number 2. N2 is increasing, oil pressure is increasing, we're looking for 20%, we've got less than 120 ITT, M1 is turning fuel on, fuel flow increases, ITT is increasing, oil pressure is increasing. 55%, ignition should go from on to arm.
Fuel system.
Does. So, at that point we take those two out. 2462, stable engine. Left and right pump caution. We're looking for left low pressure, which we have. Pop those back in.
Engine 1 start.
Start engine number 1. N2's turning, as is oil pressure. You can see the gauges there if you want. 20% less than 120, M1's turning, fuel on, fuel flow increasing, ITT's increasing, and oil pressure is still increasing. And again, 55% up here.
Engine start checklist complete.
Start to
Fuel
arm.
quantity and balance.
Start to arm 2, 4, 6, 2. Stable engines.
Fuel system.
Why can't I check fuel quantity and balance?
Fuel quantity and balance.
Why is that not?
Fuel system. After start checklist, next.
I'm using the wrong key, that's why.
After start checklist. Generator 1 and 2.
So they're currently off. Let's have a look. They're available.
On, checked AC and DC. Ignition.
So I'm just checking AC and DC here. All the TRUs, all the buses. Happy days.
Disarmed. Packs. On. 14th stage. Open. Cowl anti-ice.
So what we're actually going to do is
On.
that.
Check 45 seconds. Flight controls.
So flight controls page. Full forward, full aft, full left, full right, full left rudder, full right rudder.
Ground spoilers.
So actually, we need to do that from here. They are in auto. We move to disarm. You see nothing deploys. Go to arm. They deploy. Go back to auto. They stow. That's fine. Still. Single report. Shouldn't hassle us anymore. So we've done the flight spoiler check.
Flight spoilers.
So we go all the way up and they all deploy halfway. You see the flight go to half and the ground stay up. Stowed, they all stow. That's it.
Cowl anti-ice.
45 seconds, yes. Cowl anti-ice on.
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice.
We've already done.
Fuel balance.
60 kilos, 182 is the limit.
Trims.
1, 2, 3, 4 trims set.
No steer.
Correction, 3 set. So the chocks are out, there is no one around. No steering can come on, and we expect.
Armed. APR.
We expect that the nose will swing round into a neutral position. APR is that one, test 1. Test 1 okay. Test 2 okay.
ADG unit.
It's down here. Light comes on, after 2 seconds it should go off. It does.
Subliminal ground wing anti-ice.
Checked.
Cal anti-ice. Off. Wing anti-ice. Norm. 14-stage isolation valve.
Comes on, pop it out, goes out.
Wing anti-ice.
As you can see there, we got 2 left and right heat switch lights. Yellow M2 indications we have here. Excuse me. And then what we should do is go up here.
Checked. Off.
There should be a little
ATS.
delay there.
N1 TO. ATC TCAS.
I'm happy as it is.
After start checklist complete. Taxi checklist next.
So we're going to be out at 29. Already 15 minutes late. So let's have a look. Somebody else has already departed, haven't they? Alice in traffic, prefect 99, Challenger 650, taxiing holding point Bravo, runway 24 from the general aviation ramp, Alice in traffic. We are clear to the left, we are clear to the right.
Taxi checklist. Taxi lights. On. Wing and cowl anti-ice.
Not required. Off.
Brakes and steering.
So, hold with the toe brakes, take the parking brake off, it's extinguished, the aeroplane rolls forward. I'm going to come round to the left before anything else because of the obstructions. So I'm happy that we can at least steer. Loads of room. Of course we'd have a marshaller as well. So, ball right, compass going to the left, as is the HSI. Attitude still. Same in the other direction. More importantly, the brakes work.
Reverse thrust.
We can do that here. Check number 1 first, deployed. Stowed. Number 2, deployed. Stowed, you've got brake temperatures and things to worry about as well, but we're not going to do that. There's no M1 fail.
If taxiing the de-ice, pause checklist here until a paper de-ice checklist is complete.
So we've got M1 TO, haven't we? So well, that's interesting. Doing a self-test. Let's double check. Let's stop at Bravo and do that double check.
Flaps. 20. Altimeters. Set and cross-check. Radar weather. On. Takeoff briefing.
Discussed.
Taxi checklist complete. Before takeoff checklist next.
So Bravo is up here. Very light. The airplane accelerates very quickly. So we got M1 TO, which is not what I want. I want that flex. Yeah, the frame rate's pretty terrible. These markings aren't quite perfect either. So, this is Bravo. Let's get back down here on flex. That'll delete the V-speeds, which is fine. Two 316 and 1228. 1428 from Bravo, still correct, still happy. So, still nobody online. We are going to self-clear for takeoff. It's going to be 35. And we've got 1590 fuel on board. And minimum takeoff fuel is 1354, so we are above that. Always worth checking.
Before takeoff checklist. Passenger signs. Advised on. Anti-collision light. On. Pros. On. Windshield heat. On. Wing and cowl anti-ice.
Not required.
Continuous ignition. On. ATC TCAS. TARA. Supplemental ground wing anti-ice panel. Checked. CAS. Takeoff config OK?
I'll check that in a moment. Let's just get back to our flex. Send that through. The speeds look sensible. I'll select. I have no idea why they are disappearing. Why do they disagree? Okay, interesting. At least I got a bit of a clue. Interesting. M1 flex. M1 set. V-speed set. Happy, happy, happy. LNAV armed. Takeoff config. We will check as we line up. So 24 left, correct. We're at Bravo. We've got enough runway. Departure chart. Nobody on the radar. Allison traffic prefect. 99 Challenger 650 lining up, taking off runway 24, TUTOP 1 Foxtrot departure, Allison traffic. Brakes off. Takeoff config OK.
Landing, pulse, recog lights. On. Before takeoff checklist complete. After takeoff checklist next.
Excellent. Well, that was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? No matter, we're on our way. So correct runway, correct heading. Let's go. Checked.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up.
Gear up. Ooh. Even then, there's a twitchy aeroplane. Okay, we are still accelerating, safe height, safe speed.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear. Up. Flaps.
Oh, I've got to do it.
Zero. Thrust reversers. Off. Ignition. Off. Pressurization. Checked. Pax transition. Completed. N1. Climb set. APU generator. Off. APU. Shutdown. Passenger signs.
We'll leave those on for the moment.
CAS.
Checked clear. APR arm only.
After takeoff checklist complete.
So, autopilot out capture. There is no speed restriction. Let's get the airplane accelerating. Flaps are up. Frame rate's okay, still GP limited. And there we are at our height. So we'll let the airplane do this turn. Let's put my climb. 380 is our final cruise. So, let's take flight level change. Oh, that was actually a little bit keen. I was hoping to be a bit smoother than that. Oh, that's because, of course, I wasn't controlling the throttle there like an idiot. I left it at ATS. Oh well, crew in the back have just fallen over. We're alright. Not particularly smooth. So let's just try and smooth this out a little bit. Standard set, let's do the same over here. Lights are off, what's the next checklist? There isn't one. As you can see, there's nothing around, so there's nothing stopping us. And because we're so light, we are going to climb like an absolute rocket. Some more of that wonderful terrain out to our left. M1 climb, LNAV, autopilot my side out select. 380, we're on our way. There you go, looks pretty good. 200 miles and 30 minutes. So, passing 200, cabin is 2,000 feet, climbing at 500 feet a minute, delta P is 7. We are happy. So I climb 7.2. 307, no, 7.2 is too low, 307.8. Goes to show how long it's been. Can't even remember the climb profile. Yeah, 7.8 sounds about right, doesn't it? Easy to forget. So we'll just check speeds for the arrival. Really want to be below 200. 200 knots within about 10 miles. Or at least thinking about getting a first stage of flap in. There's the autopilot transitioning beautifully. So coming up to the changeover point. There we go, 7.8. We're pretty much at flight level 300. Cabin is just coming up to 4. 500 a minute, delta P of 8.3. With a comfortable 22 degrees. Well, we've got London Terminal, Manchester, but nothing over Norway. So, as you can see there, we've got an extra 280 kilos of fuel. Our planned additional was 220, so we've got about 20 minutes of fuel, at least 15 minutes. And don't forget I did round up that, so it's probably a little bit more. Very useful page. Fuel is of course a very important item to keep an eye on. So Lemsu is max 230. I'm going to make that at 200 and we can take flap from that point. Not that it makes any difference to the path, it's a fixed vertical path, but it will give us advisory speeds for VNAV. How's the climb rate? Still sensible. So I'm going to get the procedure minimums queued up. Take the LPVs, which is 333, so 340. Round them up to the nearest 10 in this aeroplane. I wonder if the 1,000 to go, top of climb checked. I wonder if the winds have gone as well. Why don't I set those off while we check? The weather. What are we looking at? 11:20 Zulu. .300 at 11, greater than 10k, scattered at 3,000 feet, 15, dew point of 8, QH1022. There we are levelling off, and they are capture, so we'll go to 82 cruise, it's probably a bit keen. Same as top of descent is in 14 miles. Yeah, that's actually just keep 7-8. Why don't we? So there is no restriction. Set flight level 100. And just update those winds. You know, path is armed. Path is active. May find we overshoot the speed a little bit. So So I'm just going to be a bit more aggressive and bring the throttle all the way back. Let's take a little bit of speed brake. There we go. I know that's a little bit cheeky. You can see the speed running away even though the throttle is completely idle. It's a little bit uncomfortable for my liking. Even at 2000 we're still accelerating. So we'll do a bit of a dirty dive once we're a bit lower and the air is a bit thicker and dirtier. There we go. We're in a bit of a better position now once we've got a little bit of margin. It really isn't the end of the world. We can take a delay vector, self-direct ourselves. There's 300 and we're starting to get, as you can see there, a bit of a margin, so that's looking like 10 knots. So 82 does seem quite high. Oh, there we go. It's because I hadn't synced. I am an idiot. We're still on max chat. Thanks for telling me in the chat, guys. So I can't quite. I thought I'd synced, but I can't quite see it. It doesn't. The screen's obscured, so I can't quite get it. Vertical speed will start to increase. I did think it was rather high. So what I want to do is get back on speed and then cut the throttle. What do I need? 11515 on nav2. So actually 4 is probably a bit keen. Let's try 3.5. Come back to 3. And then we should be alright. Like I said, what a disaster. This is exactly why I don't want to be doing this going into Birmingham, getting behind the aeroplane. So, I don't want to hit target. I don't think I've got anything for ATS. So I'll just re-engage speed. So, 1134. No, I'll switch that over to Carmoy, which is 115. It's the missed approach. Just wait for it to ident. Auto on nav 1. Don't want auto on nav 2. Tuned and identified. Happy. Are we catching up? With the profile in theory, we should be. Pretty rapid descent. Less than 10 minutes to go at this rate. I know it won't quite be that. We are the only one inbound, so not as much to worry about there. From a traffic perspective. So we could dive direct down to the path, but we are intercepting. As you can see here, you've got the direct 335. It gives you the rate of descent that you need. So at this point I'm not in as much of a rush. What I am going to start doing is bringing back the speed. That's what may catch us out. Like an idiot. We need below. Frame rate has just tanked GPU related. So I wonder if I can help that out a little bit. Not much of a difference, to be honest, so it's not enhanced Skyscapes. Bring on the X-Plane 12 beta. Check speed. Yes, it is telling us that we are too fast, but we are about to intercept the VNAV path. Path is armed, as is out select. We're in V path. That'll start to pitch us up. The speed will start to come back, and I will hold us at flight level 100 if need be. Oh, look at that. Let's look down here, shall we? There's 100. We are going to have to level for a moment. I wonder if could be an issue with these. Yeah, I will need to do some debugging. There we go, and switch to flight level change. With VFLC has been picked. Let's get those pulses on, signs on. We have slowed. Let's go down to 4. So, BAMAP at 4. Are we going to make that, or is that just going to be a little bit quick? What isn't helping is the tanking frame rate. So, just about to go into cloud, less than 10 degrees.
Descent checklist. Shoulder harness. Passenger signs. Pressurization. Fuel quantity and balance.
Checked.
FMS. Landing data. Charts.
Ah, landing data. There we go. I told you I'd be behind. There is actually ample performance at 15. Check speed, yes, we do have to bring the speed back. So, BVS. I think we're going to be a little bit hot here. Don't really want to use speed brake. So, is there a hold at BAMAP? No, but what we can do is just get straight into heading mode. And we'll just do an orbit with 1,000 feet per minute. We are above 4, above 3. So we actually need to stop at 5 if we're going to do what I'm doing. ATS back in so we don't stall. And this is quite a messy approach, isn't it? VREF is our current. You can see landing. Field length is absolutely fine, and that's factored as well. No delta VREF. Send. 122. There we go, that's settled us nicely. That would be quite nice out the window if the frame rate wasn't so terrible. And this is another reason. So, I'm going to try. I don't know. Oh, we could actually go down to 3.9. Okay. So, oh, we actually want to go to Limsu. We'll do that on heading then. And even this view is giving me 25-ish with some spikes. It's not great. I appreciate that. Spoils the experience for all of us. So I think if we do a turnaround to south, we're within 10 miles of Bamap. Yes. Which means we can go down 3.9, so we can go down to 4. And it's just tanked there. I'm not even looking at anything. It's very frustrating. There we go, that's booted me off VATSIM, which is irritating. And it is the GPU that's killing it. There you go, that's not bad, is it? That's getting us towards Bamap. We can go down to 3 once we're within a couple of miles. And what I really want to do is intercept that leg of the aeroplane. Do that. Yes, there it is. So the out path is armed. Airplane should sort itself out. There you go. That's how not to do an approach. So in IMC.
Approach briefing. VNAV transition flight level. Descent checklist complete. In range checklist next. In range checklist. APU. Started. Altimeters. Reset. Cross-checked. Avionics.
Checked.
External lights. On. N1 target. Set. APU PAX transition. Avail completed. APU generator. On. CAS.
Checked.
In range checklist complete. Before landing checklist next.
So we can drop to 2.5, which is target. Yes. Convoy traffic, prefect 99, Challenger 650 overhead, Lesmu, inbound RMP runway 31, convoy traffic. Just popping out the clouds there. Checked. Glide path, VGP, approach, LBV approach, armed. 2.5, but we have a VGP, so that is the missed approach. We can leave that set to 2.5. No, wrong one. I wanted to do that. So our grid is 7.4, our grid, we don't need to be particularly aggressive. Seven miles to the runway. Frames are back to normal. How irritating. Two miles LPV 778. We can check. There's 5 miles, so let's start bringing the speed back.
Before landing checklist. Landing gear lever. Down indicating. Nose steer. Arm centered clear. Anti-skid. Armed tested. Passenger signs. On. Wing cowl anti-ice.
Not required.
Continuous ignition. On. Thrust reversers. Armed. Spoilers. Stowed auto. Flaps. Set. CAS.
1000.
Checked.
Before landing checklist complete. After landing checklist next.
So that was a bit of a mess, but hey, I rescued it.
500.
Yeah, it's a shame. I like enhanced skyscapes. What I had before? Nothing, I guess. You see, I'm not necessarily convinced it is that, but we can try. I know it does hit the frames, but it's just the interesting difference.
Approaching minimums.
Yeah, drifting off a little bit. Visual anyway.
Minimums.
Continue. A little bit low. $50, $40, $30, $20, $10. Oh, a little bit of a twitch. There you go. Oh, hello. Didn't even go for the reverse thrust. That's just because I was too slow. Ground spoilers deployed. There was me well behind the curve. And we need to backtrack. So, big aeroplanes can't do it on the runway, but we can. Everything off, yes. Clean the airplane up a little bit. Yeah, if it is enhanced skyscapes, I don't quite understand why there's those big spikes. but we can try with it off, which is a real shame because it is quite good. Although I've had problems like this for a long time, although they've been more CPU spike related. You know, for instance, going into London. Either way, hopefully X-Plane 12 will be the solution to all of our problems. Where are we going to park? It's pretty much just gates. We could take 7 at Bravo, looks good. Oh, hello, a bit quick. Let's take the next one then. Or actually, maybe 8. Stand 8 is sort of tucked away in the corner. Ideal for a small aeroplane. Let's try that. Real laggy now. GPU through the roof. Welcome to PowerPoint, ladies and gents. Carway traffic, prefect 99, runway vacated. Probably going to get booted anyway.
After landing checklist. Landing pulse recog lights. Off. Anti-collision lights. Off. Continuous ignition. Off. Windshield on. Pros. Off. Wing anti-ice. Off. Cowl anti-ice.
Not required.
Spoilers. Stowed. Flaps. 0. ATC TCAS. Alt on. Radar mode. Standby. After landing checklist complete. Engine shutdown checklist next.
Excellent. So we are coming on to stand. Fuel imbalance. Fine. Hello. Bit of aggressive terrain there. See, I think 8 here will be alright. And we could arguably self-maneuver off this stand as well. Taxi lights are off, just so we don't blind anyone. Let's try and get nicely parked on this spot. That wasn't as nice as I was hoping for. It's kind of close enough. Where's a marshaller when you need it? That'll do. Brakes on, and it's 12:40.
Engine shutdown checklist. Taxi lights. Off. Parking brake. Set. Reverse thrust. Stowed. Generators 1 and 2. Off. Engine 2 shut down. Fuel boost pumps. Off. Fuel system.
So the right's off, so we're looking for right low pressure checked.
Engine 1 shut down. Check ITT below 350 degrees Celsius.
Checked.
Anti-ice. Off. 14th stage. Off. Beacon. Off. No steer. Off. ATC TCAS. Parking brake if chocked.
Parking brake can come off in a moment once we've got the chocks in.
Passenger signs. Off. Cabin differential. 0 PSI. Engine shutdown checklist complete. Securing checklist next.
Happy days. So we'll let the fuels settle down. So again, you saw some lag there. But that, how can that be enhanced Skyscapes? GPU is going through the roof and it can't even see anything. There's something scenery related, I think, causing that. Can I turn it off? So that's turned it off. Enhanced Skyscapes is not drawing any clouds, so there should be nothing there to worry about, and it's fine. Head over this way, not fine. Not fine at all. So I don't think it is. I know Enhanced Skyscapes does hit the frame rate, but I don't think it hits my frame rate that much. I could be wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Looks alright out there, doesn't it? Active Sky, yeah, I used to use that as well. I still think I have these issues, and that there, CPU goes up, but GPU goes through the roof. I'm just not quite sure what it is. Maybe it's a texture issue. What do we need to do? Let's go put some pins and covers on, and then we'll shut the aeroplane down. See, terminal building related. I had similar issues at Heathrow, I think, in the past. So there's something there that my PC is not happy about. Got no packs to worry about. So that pin, that does stop that switch. Something definitely there. I know you can't see the frame counter, but trust me, it's on that side.
Door. Nose door. Nose door.
Secure and checklist. Emergency lights.
Off.
AC/DC utility switch.
Also off.
Headsets. Thrust reversers. Chocks. Parking brake.
It is off.
Hydraulic pumps.
All off.
Nav lights, logo light.
I'm going to stay on for the moment.
APU generator. APU start stop. PAX. LCV 10th stage isolation valve. APU power fuel. ICAS APU gauge. Battery master.
So we've got 750 on the fuel. Turn the panel off, I think. Let's run through those. Secure brake is off, thrust reversers are off, lights can stay on, emergency lights are off, pumps are off, APU gen off, APU shut down, packs, LCV in 10th stage, out, and just let the APU shut down. That's our flight done. It says we touched down 147. Well, I didn't feel that bad, but hey, I'm pretty rusty. And that flight. That's on Volanta, happy days. Disconnect from VATSIM. Maybe going to Birmingham isn't going to be the best idea. Till I sort my frame rate out. Almost impossible to do though, when you don't quite know how to do it. So, APVGT should go off, I think, in a moment. We've got no power, so that can come off. I suppose you can just leave it on. Power fuel's out. That's it. Well, thanks very much for joining me. I'm getting pretty hungry, so I'm going to go have some lunch. And I know Birmingham's going to be open all day on VATSIM today and tomorrow. Maybe I'll have a think. With performance like that, it's going to be a bit of a killer. And that's been another factor that has stopped me from getting back in the sim. Anyway, there's the battery off. Let's shut the airplane up. We'll leave the blinds down, assuming that we do come back later. There's the airplane secure, and let's just walk over this way to the FBO. It doesn't really matter. That's it. So thanks very much. Have a good day, whatever you get up to. I do appreciate the support. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. But from me, it's bye for now.